Hey guys, this video is from our latest Rick and Johnny podcast. Make sure to check out the full podcast on blogtalkradio.com/Rick and Johnny. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know Johnny and I had fun recording it. But Johnny, we're going to move on into our next topic, and we are going into the Marvel side of things, a movie that we have talked about before here on the Rick and Johnny podcast, and that is the movie New Mutants.
Yes.
And at the time we talked about it, we had a kind of cast. We kind of talked about what to expect from this movie.
Yep.
Well, we got more details coming out. And from director Josh Boone, who was the director of The Fault in Our Stars, who is going to be the director of New Mutants, when asked about the plot, he said, and I quote, "We are making a full-fledged horror movie set within the X-Men universe. There are no costumes. There are no supervillains. We're trying to do something very, very different." End quote. And also Logline had this to say about the plot, where they said, "Held in a secret facility under their will, 5 new mutants have to battle the dangers of their powers as well as the sins of their past. They aren't out to save the world. They're just trying to save themselves." So with everything that's being kind of out there now, it looks like it's going to be these 5 mutants, the new mutants, who they're not trying to save the world. They're not going out there. There's not going to be a supervillain. There's not going to be costumes. It's just going to be a horror movie, a PG-13 horror movie.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you this. Is this going to work? Is this kind of horror side to it going to work? And how is the horror movie tone going to affect the New Mutants movie?
Well, the idea, honestly, as long as they play it out right, it can work. The idea behind X-Men, the New Mutants, is a lot of dealing with their powers, a lot of persecution for having those powers, a lot of what the word discrimination. So now we have them in a and we see a few times of that. They're in a facility because they're being tested on their powers because, hey, they're mutants. Let's test on them, see if we can, like, everything. Let's see how that why it happens, how it happens, can we replicate it, all that kind of stuff. Whatever they're going with on that, I don't know. But it's kind of cool to see that we're getting more of a horror tone now. So possibly each one of them locked in a separate cell, specific for their powers. Them trying to, not just like them getting their powers, but them coming to terms with it. And obviously, like we saw in the first X-Men movie, when we get Rogue, what happens to her? How do her powers express themselves? Do you remember or no?
It was when she touches people.
When she first kissed that boy and sent him to like
a coma.
Well, he first like started seizing.
Yeah.
And then, he was in a coma. Having to deal with that.
Just like even there was the scene where she kissed, what was it, Iceman?
Yeah.
And you could see from his lips and everything.
Started pulling away.
The life was like coming out of them, and then he had to pull away.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the facts of all those that how your powers express themselves, you're not 100%, like, you're not in control of them at all. And so who knows what you did to someone?
And at first, when I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, go for it.
When I heard about this, my first thought was, why? Why do we need to change anything? Because, I mean, it's a horror movie now. It's not a superhero movie. It's like you're taking a horror movie and you're just saying, oh, well, there's superheroes in it.
Yeah.
But it's not a superhero movie. Don't call it that. My first thought was like, this doesn't sound exciting. But the more I think about it, I like it, but I have one huge flaw.
Go for it.
With this. I like it because when we saw Logan, what was one thing we said in that review and after we saw it?
Remind me.
Didn't feel like a superhero movie.
No, it did not.
It felt like an old Western.
It did.
Did not feel like a superhero movie. It just felt like a good damn movie.
Oh, yeah.
So part of me is like, okay, scrap that idea. Scrap that thought right now, Ricky, because just because it's not a superhero movie doesn't mean it can't be a good movie.
Exactly.
My only flaw with their kind of process is I feel like if you're going to go the horror movie tone, make it rated R. Don't go because right now, from what I feel, you're saying we want to go rated R, but we're not ready to dive into the pool yet. And the way I see it is if you make it a PG-13 horror movie, it will flop.
Yeah.
Because you will not be able to do exactly what you would be able to do if you just said, fuck it, we're going to do whatever every other horror movie does, and we're making it rated R.
You know what? I feel like it could be better off rated R, yeah. At the same time, having a cast of kids, in a sense, in there.
I get that. Kids are going to want to go see kids like themselves.
Well, not just that. It's just you have kids in the movie, so like you want to make it a little bit more relatable in that sense of you're gonna really like we're not going full on Saw. Like I can see elements of that being used in there, but they said a horror tone as opposed to hey, this is gonna be a horror movie. It's gonna be like Hellboy, which is gonna be rated R. No, it's like it's gonna have horror tones to it. So like them locked in dingy cells by themselves, them having to deal with the memories of it. So you can see I can see Wolfsbane just going stir crazy, turning into a wolf type creature.
No costumes, though.
No costumes. No costumes.
Does that count, though?
No, because
Okay,
it's part of the mutant power.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, no costumes. We're not going to have the X-Men costumes, but we're going to have like in this part of the series, we're probably going to have them in what look like patients, like not costumes, but they're going to look like dressed like patients.
Yeah.
Potentially straitjackets, all that kind of stuff. They're going to be locked in. I'm guessing, my guess would be they're going to be locked in sort of dingy cells, kind of like we saw in Deadpool. It's not going to be a real facility. It's going to be this drummed up facility to hold people in to test on them.
Yeah, and I just like, I get why, and my whole thing was I get why you're doing the PG-13 because I would think, oh, we have a movie full of kids. Why would we make it rated R when we want these kids to go through it? But if I'm not mistaken,
yes.
and I could be wrong, tried to look it up, can't find it. The movie that's being remade now, Stephen King's It.
Okay.
That movie has a cast that is going to be kids.
That's true.
But is rated R.
That's true. And that's a full-fledged horror movie, though, too. That's
what I'm saying.
That's where I find the difference.
If they want to go with I feel like if you're going to go with and say that, you know, like, and it's a quote to me that when he says in the quote, there are no costumes, there are no supervillains, this is something very, very different. It sounds to me like we want to break the mold. We do not want to be like any other superhero movie. We want to try something different. I look at it and go, okay, you want to do that? Go full force.
Oh, I agree.
Go balls to the wall. Go 110% with what you want to do. But I see the PG-13 rating and I go, it's not going to feel the same.
Well, I'm going to throw this out.
It might be a good movie, but it's not going to feel the same. Think of Logan if it was PG-13.
Oh, it would. A lot of things would have been cut.
Exactly.
Well, here's the thing I want to throw out to you about that too. Logan was almost PG-13. It's because one of the reasons Hugh Jackman said, "Hey, I will take a pay cut as long as we go rated R." So maybe it's just a funding issue. With a name like Maisie. Let's see. I have the names
Maisie
right here.
Williams.
Maisie Williams. Let's see. Do we have any other bigger names?
Not huge names.
Not huge names. No.
I mean, the one that you were telling me before we hit the recording button was Rosario Dawson. Is kind of rumored
to be in there. It's just maybe it's a funding issue because you want to make sure you don't spend a certain amount and you're going to make a certain amount in the box office. So it's just maybe issues like that they're not doing it.
And that's exactly it. And it comes down to money because the reason why they do, to me, the reason why they would do PG-13 is not because of like, oh, well, kids are in the movie, kids are going to want to go see it. Kids are want to go, you're going to put the X-Men on there.
Yeah.
Like just the name X-Men, kids are going to say, I want to go see that.
Exactly.
The thing that's different is if it's rated R, is mommy and daddy going to take them to go see it?
If
it's PG-13, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, guardian, doesn't matter who it is, might be more inclined to take them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's PG-13 rather than rated R.
No, I completely agree.
Parents in their mind, even if it's like a 11, 10-year-old kid, okay, let's go see PG-13. Because it's like, okay, you know what, it's not that bad. But rated R, it's like, nope, you can't see a rated R film.
Exactly.
It's because I am now an adult and not a kid, but I feel like these movies are moving towards the rated R because yeah, there's comic book fans born every day per se. Like there are kids that pick up the comics and fall in love with the heroes and the characters just like you and me did. However, the majority of it, maybe it's because I'm in that majority of how I see it. You always see it from where you are. We're growing up and we want to see our characters grow up with us.
Yeah, you want to see them develop.
We don't want to
Like-
see them anymore in that kid-friendly version
Oh yeah.
of that hero. We want to see them more real. We want to see them more realistic. And I know I've said it before. I'm going to sound like a broken record. I feel like if they go PG-13, it might be like, well, that was a good movie, but man, I wonder what they could have done with rated R.
No, I
It could
completely.
have been. I feel like we'll say, man, this could have been like an A+ movie if it was rated R.
I completely agree with that, especially like we talked about the horror tone. I'm not gonna. You know what? I completely agree. PG-13, I understand what they're doing. They want to be able to make that money back, just like we just talked
Yeah.
about, and that's why I get, and that's why I'm just trying to say, well, I understand that. I'm not going to argue at all. Making it rated R would probably make it a way better movie. Just any of these characters, just like if you do a flashback, see what they did. The like devastation you can create in a PG-13 movie compared to a rated R
Doesn't
movie
even compare.
doesn't even compare. You can show the blood, the gore, and everything that, hey, what happened because I couldn't control this thing that just automatic, like I hit puberty and something automatically happened. I couldn't control it, and now like 3 people are dead because of it. You can't show that as much in a PG-13 movie as much as a rated R movie. I completely understand that.
Well,
it would make it way better.
And I'm thinking the thing that's different too between New Mutants and Logan
Yeah,
is, let's be honest, Logan's Wolverine.
exactly.
Wolverine's popularity is way higher than the New Mutants.
Oh yeah,
Like
immensely.
I could see the studio also being nervous of like, well, we can't do rated R, spend all this money on these cool effects and these cool things, and then no one goes and sees the movie.
Exactly.
We could spend less, make it PG-13, do more tame things. Then it's like, oh, not a lot of people went, okay, we didn't spend that much money. And I kind of feel like I said, if you're going to do it, go balls to the wall. The only reason why I'm harping on the ratings thing, and some people might be getting annoyed with it, but the only reason I'm harping on it is because they said like horror movie. As soon as he said it's going to be like a horror movie, my first thought was, and when he said we're making a full-fledged horror movie, what horror movie are you going to go PG-13? All the good ones are rated R.
They are. No, I completely agree.
Because the only reason you can go with that full-fledged kind of, like, even I go back to Logan, that also had a kid in it
Yeah.
with X-23, where the thing I think of is where she went like this, cut the guy's hand off.
Well, how about the one they cut? She comes out with carrying the head.
That too. That too.
Cut off the guy's hand. Oh no! But let's not talk about the head that she carried out and rolled at him.
Good point. Touche, sir. I see I have lost this round, but yeah, I feel like the horror film movie tone, I should have just said horror tone. The horror film movie tone will be different. It'll be very, very different.
Yeah.
But the effect that it will have on New Mutants will all depend on that rating.
Yeah.
If they go PG-13, I'll call it right now, it will be a flop. Not like a flop in the sense of like no one goes and sees it, but a flop in the sense of, wow, that was a mistake. They should have made it rated R.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think I get where they're coming from at the sense of, I would love to see it rated R, but I get where they're coming at the sense of, you know what? Not a lot of people know the New Mutants. This is a new thing we're dealing with. They should, like you said, go balls to the wall with it and just go for it. But that's Fox losing money then,
Yeah.
because
And especially with all the things they have to compete with. Like, the thing that does not help New Mutants also
yeah,
is the last time we talked about New Mutants, we talked about, oh, well, they're going to be going up against the the Universal Monster Universe. And
Yeah.
it's probably going to be the Wolfman at that time. And who will it be? Well, no, Universal's come out, have not only branded their universe, which makes it stronger, have not only said, no, this is the Dark Universe,
Yeah.
but they've already said, we're coming out Bride of Frankenstein.
yep,
Bride of Frankenstein, April 13th, 2018. Boom. And you want to know who's rumored to be that role.
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie. That is a big name against your 5. I don't want to say 5 nobodies because, like, you look, obviously Maisie Williams has been Game of Thrones and Doctor Who, and we've got
Rosario Dawson.
Well, that's rumored. I'm talking about the ones we know. Taylor-Joy Split, which was a big horror film. That was the one with Professor X was in that one also.
Yep.
And then you got Henry Zaga, who 13 Reasons Why is doing very well on the Netflix right now. The Netflix. Wow,
Netflix.
Coming an old man, folks. The Netflix. But they're stars at things, they've been in things that have been successful, but they're no one compared to Angelina Jolie.
Exactly. Someone that everyone knows.
That's like, I kind of want to say, that's like Ariana Grande going up against Beyonce. Not going to happen. The Bayhive going to slap you down each and every time. That is what this is. And if you're going to go up against that movie, you need to go balls to the wall. And that's why I think in order for the horror tone to be effective, you got to go rated R.
I know. I completely agree with that. It'll make it a better movie.
We've seen, and I get it. Wolverine and Deadpool, totally different movie, like totally different characters than the New Mutants. But Deadpool's been good, rated R. Logan's been good, rated R. We're getting more and more movies where they're saying, hey, we're going to go the rated R route. We're going to go that Deadpool route because it was so successful. And I just see that as like we're being scared just because of we don't want to go all the way because what if we don't make a little bit of money? But before we wrap this up, any final thoughts on
Actually, I do have another one.
Hit me, big guy.
Aside from just doing rated R, which I think Fox may need to start doing a little bit more, what about also kind of putting this undertone of another type of movie genre? So Logan was very much a Western.
Yeah.
You almost can't argue that. They want to do a horror one with this one. What about other movie tones for their future movies too?
Like what?
I'm just saying.
Do you have one in mind?
Not in particular, no. But I'm just saying, like, find a movie tone and stick with it. Like this one, a horror movie would make this a great movie. Underlying Western tones made Logan what it was.
Well, it's kind of like what they expect the Green Lantern Corps movie to be.
Yeah, buddy cop film.
It's going to be a superhero movie, but it's a buddy cop film.
Exactly. That's the type of thing I'm saying, though. Maybe Fox needs to start doing stuff like that, like they're talking about right now. The concept.
Oh, it's about superheroes, but it's a different movie.
It's a different type of movie. It's not your generic superhero movie anymore.
I mean, I could see it. It just depends on. And this will be a huge step of. Can we do it with any characters, or do we have to only do it with the heavy hitters?
Yeah, that's the question. I guess we'll see.
Deadpool and Logan have been heavy hitters.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see when this comes out if it works or not.
Especially because it's going to be going up against, like I said, the Dark Universe movie.
Yeah.
In Bride of Frankenstein, which if Angelina Jolie's on that card, there might be a few people that go to see that opening day instead of New Mutants, just because it's got Angelina Jolie in it. So I mean that I like it that they're going in a different way. And if you're sitting there going, hey, you know what? I kind of feel like Ricky harped too much on it. The rating's going to play huge into that. But you guys are now looking at the logo right now because the camera died. But let us know what you think down below in the description, in the comment section. What do you guys think? How is the horror film going to affect the New Mutants movie? And also kind of what this conversation turned into. If you are making this into a movie, are you going the PG rating or are you going the rated R rating? Let us know down below in the comment section.
Thank you everyone for watching the Rick and Johnny podcast. Click right here to watch another squanchy video and let's get rickety wrecked!